Let me know when you want to start. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another session. So today we're going to draw a koi fish with oil pastels. I'm not sure how many of you have used oil pastels before. They are a wonderful medium. Oil pastels are basically the drier version, I would say, of oil paint. Um, so if used correctly, they actually can look like oil paint. Um, so there are a lot of things that you can do with oil pastels. The wonderful thing about this medium is that you can create uh, different sort of shades, variations, the layering. You can experiment. There's no end to what all you can do with oil pastels. Um, yeah, and they just have to use the right oil pastels. They can be some variants can be dry, some variants can be a little bit oily. They can be soft, they can be hard. The different kinds in the market. If you want to try something, just go with something that's easily available and see how you go. And then, of course, you can use other variants and other companies to see what's the difference. Um, so today, I'll just move my camera a little bit towards my page. Okay, so I have got an A4 sheet here. I've just taped it down nicely. You can use any size. There's no strict rules as to what you can use. This is just a sheet from a sketch pad. This is not an oil pastel paper, but I've used this sketch pad paper before, and it works great with oil pastels. So I'm using that today. Now I'm using two kinds of oil pastels today. One is from the brand Mangayo. I often use this brand. They have a whole range of oil pastels. Um, yeah, expensive ones, not so expensive ones. This is just soft oil pastel that I'm using. Um, and these are for artists. These are fairly good quality if you want to start off with oil pastels. And I'm also using this brand, the Montmartre brand, which you get in the dollar shops. Very underrated. They are amazing, extremely well pigmented, great for blending. Of course, not that expensive because you get them in dollar shops. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Not many people use them. Not many people know about them, but they are great. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to a dollar shop after the lockdown and you're keen to use oil pastels, you can grab a box. They are great. Um, cool. All right. So let's get started with our project today. Now, I'm using a white paper, as you can see. You can use a black paper as well, because oil pastels, um, yeah, they kind of come out great in black paper. I use a lot of black paper to create artworks with oil pastels, and they look vibrant and nice and bright. You just have to use the right colors and the right textures. All right, let's get started. So first we will draw the koi fish. If you have ever seen the koi fish, they are reddish orange in color. They're very symbolic to the Chinese traditions. Yeah, I think they symbolize the power of strength and sustainability, something like that. They might have more meanings, but yeah, those are the things that I know. All right. Let me know if you need me to adjust the screen at any point of time. Okay, now we're going to draw two coefficients, and then we will go around it and add some, yeah, some maybe a lotus and create like a little lily pond. So first, let's do the fishes. Now I'm going to do one here and another one there. These will be big fishes. So if you are drawing as drawing with me, as you see the demonstration here, make sure you draw big fishes, not tiny ones, because with oil pastels, it's difficult to apply color. Um, Oil pastels have thick and blunt tips. They're not like yeah, they're not like brush tips or textures. So you need big subjects in your artwork. Okay, let's get started. So I will draw one here. The easiest way to start drawing a koi fish is the head will be here, the tail will be here. So I'll just start with the tail. So just a curved line like this. And then another one parallel to this, but this end will be narrow and this end will be wider because this is the head. Like so. And then you basically make the head like that. So you join the two lines. Don't worry about the pencil marks. You need not erase them unless you're really picky about pencil marks, because everything will be colored by oil pastels. Great. Now this is basically the head of the fish. That makes sense. Then we're going to draw the eyes. The eyes are pretty far apart. They're towards the edge. So I'm going to draw one eye either side. You can start. So I'll draw one eye here.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can't see the head.
You can't see the head?
No.
Let me bring this up a little bit. I'll make this a little brighter. Is this better? Okay. So that's the eye, which is like a small oval. And then if you measure it across, just freehand measure, sufficient over there. We will draw the other eye quite towards the edge. It's just an oval. And then to add a bit of detailing, you can add the pupil. Like so. Yeah, if you want, you can shade the eye like this. Okay, and then here they have the nostrils. How you do the nostrils? Nothing much, just add a line like that. Just like that. And then two tentacles coming out from the nostrils. Just like so. Simple so far, I guess. Now we will move on to the fins. So I'll start one here. Just pretty much where, just a little bit below the eye, I would say, just here. Then some curved wobbly lines like that, and then you just join it with the body. And then because they're swimming, the fins on one side can look different. You don't have to make both the fins on both the sides the same because they're swimming and you're looking from this side, okay? So that part of the fin might not be that visible, so it will be smaller. Just like that. Okay, now These are smaller fins towards the torso of the fish. And then the one at that side is not that visible, so we'll just draw a small one. Just like that. Okay, let's draw the tail. So we'll start from this side. That's the tail. And then along the spine of the fish, so this is the spine. I'll draw a line for you so you can understand. So that's the spine of the fish. Along the spine of the fish, they have a set of fins as well. The easiest way to draw that would be to make an S along the line. By that I mean this, so a flat S. And that's it. Okay, now these koi fishes, they have orange patches in their body. So I will add some patches. There is no set rule as to how the patches will be. They're very different, just like the stripes in the tiger's body. This is how you do the patches, as if you're drawing a map. I'm going to add a patch there. Let's see, we can add a patch here. And then a small one here. And maybe another one here.
Madhubani, I don't know about
Yes.
other people, but I'm finding that very hard to see those faint lines you're drawing.
Okay, let me make them a little brighter, or I'll bring this closer to the camera.
That's
To
better.
my sheet. Yep, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So I did, if you missed the last few steps, I'm just adding patches, the orange patches in the body of the fish. They can be big, they can be small. There's no set rules around it.
Sorry, Madhubani, can you please lift it up a bit? I still can't see all the face of the fish.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Okay. Now let's draw another koi fish just on this side. Let me see if we have the space for it. Yeah, kind of. I think we'll manage one. We can make the koi fish face this side and have the tail here if you want. So start with the same flow of the line. So just like that. And then another line wider here, narrow at this end because the tail is here, the head is here. just like so. And then you join these two lines with a U shape. And then the tail. Okay, and then, so I'm going to draw a line for the head. It's easy to understand how big the head is. And then we're going to place the eyes towards the edge, just here. So the oval that I'm drawing for the eye, it's going out of the line a little bit, just to let you know. So it's at the far end of both the sides. And if you just draw a rough line here, so you know where to place the other eye. And another oval here. And for detailing, you can add the pupils. And shade the rest of them. You can shade it with black pastel or black pen as well if you like. I'm just shading it with pencil, so it's easy for you to locate the eye. Okay. Now, the fins. So just about here, I'm going to start the fin. And then a smaller fin here. To add the second fin, I don't have much space here, which is okay. If you don't have space, you can just do whatever you can fit in. So just like that. And then just the other fin here. Okay, now we will add the nostrils and the tentacles. So the nostrils, easy. Nostrils, just a line here. And there. In many Chinese drawings, if you have seen, they make this koi fishes very decorative. They have Chinese scripts and symbols. And these tentacles that I'm drawing, they make them coiled. And yeah, very dramatic. They're beautiful artworks. All right, let's draw the spinal fin. Start with this line in the middle of the spine and then a flat S shape. Okay, now we're going to draw the patches in the body. I find these patches very interesting. You can yeah, you can kind of do whatever you want to, because yeah, they're just fun variation in the body of the koi fish. So let's draw a little bit different to what we drew for this one. Maybe start like this. We can have the patches go a little bit towards the head. Like so. So this big patch will be orange, and these patches in the middle will be white. And then as we go towards the tail, we can reduce the big patch. Just like that. You can add some small white patches if you like. Like I said, no set rules. If you want to add some more towards the tail, you can do that. And that's it. Okay, so that is with the koi fish drawing. Now we can make a lily pond. So here I have a bit of space. You can fit the flower wherever you want, okay? Based on how much space you have in your sheet. So I'm going to add one here. So just maybe just there. And if you want to add a lotus, feel free to add a lotus. Let me see. I might just add a lotus here. I'm going to draw a simple lotus. And then a second layer of petals. And then a bigger outer layer of petals. Just like that. And I might add some small flowers here and there, just to decorate the picture. And that's it. Okay, now I will start with my pastels. Let's see. So I'll show you the colors I'm choosing. Orange. So I'm choosing an orange, and I might add a little bit of gray. Okay, so I've taken an orange color. This is a bright yellowy orange. And if you have a lighter shade or a deeper shade, that will work as well. And I've taken a light gray. This is a very light gray. If you don't have a light gray, you can take a deep gray and mix it up with white. And then I've got white. So these are the colors I've got. Now, I will start with a little bit of gray for the white patches in the fish's body. So along the edge of the body, I'm going to add some gray. That's a patch. Okay. And then I will take some white. I'll also add some gray towards the tip of the head. Under the eyes, just to highlight the eyes. Just like that. Okay, now I will use some white and blend this gray in to create a softer look.
I'm sorry for keep interrupting. I don't know if it's because I'm on my iPad today, but I can't see the head of your big fish. Sorry,
That's okay.
Annie. Thank you.
Let me see. Is that better?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, great. So as you can see, when I'm adding the white, it diffuses the color. From gray, it becomes a whitish gray. So all the gray that I added, I'm going over those patches and blending it with the white. So wherever you need to create detailing, you can use the same technique. You can go back and forth. If there are patches after you finish, you think that needs more detailing, you can always apply over the white and then make sure you blend it in so there is consistency. And then towards the tail. All right, now I'm using the orange for the patches. I think once I apply the orange, it will be easy for you to locate the head and rest of the part of the body. Sometimes it can be a little unclear in the camera. So this will create the brightness. And color all the patches with the orange. There's one patch here where I've added some gray, but I'll color over it. I think it will look better with the orange. How bright does that look? Okay. Now, for the tail, what I'll do is I will still use the same combination of colors. So a bit of white, a bit of light gray, and some orange. I might also use a deep gray that I have in my palette. If you don't have deep gray, that's fine. Okay, so I will first add some lines like this with the pastel. I'm using the edge of the pastel because it's quite, I would say, sharp. So it's easy for me to get a line. Just like that. And then I will take my white and diffuse the lines a little bit. If you're using the same technique, your gray will smudge, and we want that. So don't feel that you're doing it wrong if it's smudging. With the white, I'm actually dragging the pastel towards the body of the fish to create a flow. As you can see. When it comes to pastels, I feel it's really important to get your strokes right, whether it will be horizontal, whether it will be top to bottom, whether it will be diagonal. So always go with the flow of the item that you're putting color on, and that creates a great effect. Okay. So that's how my tail looks like. I'm going to add a little bit of orange in the fins. Once again, using the line technique. And then I'll just go over with the white and smudge it. I will take some gray and add to the joint of the fins from where it's attached to the body of the fish. I'll do the same for all the fins. And add some to the tip as well. Just like that. Very carefully adding some to the tip. Just like so. I'll do the same for this fin. Adding more shade at the joint of the fin where it is attached to the body. Just like that. And I will also use the same gray for...
Hello. Say hello. Hello. And just say mommy's drawing. Say mommy's learning to draw. Mommy's learning to draw. Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
So I'm applying the same deep gray for the fin that's located along the spine of the fish. Just filling it with the deep gray color. Like that. Now I'll go back to my black and quickly blend this gray. Otherwise it looks too sharp. When you're blending with oil pastels, it's important to know what you can blend and what you can't. If you blend a dark shade with a light, like a black, say with the red, then it will create a dirty dark red. If you're blending with white, it will create a fluffy cotton-like look. If that's what you want, that's how you should do it. So you might when you practice with pastels, it's important to know what you can blend with, what will create the right shade, the right feel and texture. Okay. Also using the same gray for the tentacles from the nostrils. Like so. I'll add a little bit of black where I shaded the eye. And I'll also add a little bit of black at the joint of the tentacle, like that. Just towards the tip and towards the joint. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to the next fish. I think this will be quicker for you to color now that you know the techniques. Just rubbing off those extra patches here and there. Okay. All right, for this one, let's start with the orange because there's so much of orange patch. Once you apply the orange, you will know where to apply the gray and white. So these were all orange patches. So I'm applying color there. Some of these patches, the small ones that we created for this fish, you can leave them white as well, if you like. If you don't want to risk applying gray in such a small area, you can leave them white because some patches in the koi fish body are white. The reason why I use gray is because they are silvery white and silvery gray. It's hard to get silvery or iridescent colors in pastels. You can get them in expensive brands, but in not so expensive brands, the iridescent shades are not that great, or it's actually hard to find in a usual box of color. So that's why I was using a bit of gray. Okay, and then this patch was also orange. And then for the tail, I'll do something different for this one. I'll add a bit of orange, light shade of orange, just here, mimicking the patches. Just like that. And then I'll mix it up with a bit of gray, white, and drag the color towards the edge of the tail. This creates a soft salmon pink-like shade. So you can draw or color the fins and the tail in this way as well. showing you two different techniques. Okay, now in these patches, I will just go over and add some white. Now the tip of my white has some orange to it. I will use that. If you don't want to use that orange tip white, you can get rid of it by rubbing it against a piece of paper, but I want that, so I'm using the dirty patches of orange in my white. Okay, so that's how it looks. For the fins, once again, I will use a bit of orange. Just like that. And create some strokes to mimic the bones in the fins. We'll do the same for this one here. Back to white. Smudging it. And that's it. And once again, my white has a lot of orange in it. I'll use the same white and color these little fins. For the head, I'll go back to the gray, dark gray. Add some to the tip. Just like that. Just like that. And I color the tentacles coming from the nostrils. And just, let's see, we can create some shade here. Wherever you need shadow, you can add the gray. You can also use a black, but make sure you diffuse it with white, otherwise it might look too sharp. And then going back to my white. Now, at this point, my white has a lot of orange in it. So I'm just cleaning the orange because I just want pure white. Just like that. You can also rub it against a piece of paper, like I mentioned. And then I'm diffusing the gray. And coloring the head. I will take a bit of black and add to the eyes. and to the tentacles like I did for the other fish. Just like so. Okay. Let's quickly color the flowers. I will be using a vibrant purple, a light, a deep purple, and some pink. These sort of shades. Let's start with pink from the middle. And then I'm using the light mauve or light purple. No set rules as to how you can color the flower. Everyone loves coloring flowers. I leave it to you to apply the color however you want. Okay, and then I've got the deep purple. Very carefully, I'll do the whole flower with the deep purple. This is the outer layer of the flower that I'm coloring. I'm using the edge of my pastel to create a neat line when I'm applying the pastel. Sometimes if your pastels are old and you really need a neat line, you can use color pencils or pastel pencils. If you don't have color pencils or pastel pencils, you can also just rub the pastel against a piece of paper so one side becomes blunt and the other side becomes sharp. There are also sharpeners available for pastels, which I don't use because I feel a whole lot of pigment is lost by sharpening the tips, but that's also an option. Okay, so just a simple flower using some bright contrast colors. Now, let's quickly color this leaf. And for that, I'm using a bright green and a dark green. This is a mid green, I would say. Okay, and this is a really light fluoro sort of a green. So in here, I'll start from the middle with the dark shade. And I'm creating a round fan-like texture or shape, spiky texture, and a fan-like shape. As you can see, I'm going around in layers, creating a fan-like shape, just like this. And as I'm going out of the circle, I'm leaving some random lines like that. And then I will take my light green and color the rest of it. Okay. As a last step, I will add a little bit of dark green or black in the middle, just to create a bit of variation. That's it. And then wherever you need a little bit of shade, you can use black or a deep green. I'm just using a deep green, just like that. These little flowers that we drew, you can apply whichever color you want. They're just for decoration. I'm using a magenta. Just very roughly, I'm adding a little bit of color in it. If you have textures, you can use textures as well, if it's too hard for you to fill in those little flowers. Now I will take some blue. This is called a cobalt blue. So I'm taking that blue and I have to lift my paper a little bit. And I'm using the flat body of the pastel, just like this, holding it very flat. To the sheet and making some waves. If you apply pressure, the waves will be deeper. If you want to make them very light and soft, don't apply so much pressure. I'm using a variation of deep shades and light shades. And as I go up, I'm just reducing the pressure. Going flat, mimicking the waves or ripples in a pond. Make sure you don't go over any of the subjects in your artwork. Just a rough, casual application of color to show the water. And that's it.
that looks great, Madhubani.
Thank you so much. How did everyone go? I'm so curious to know. Sorry about all the trouble they had with seeing my drawing.
That's okay.
Really.
That's all right. I've taken a few screenshots, so I'll pass them on to Renee.
Yeah.